Welcome to a day in the life of a full-time online coach. Today I'm going to be running you through what my day looks like. Today is not a full client check-in day, otherwise I would be sitting at this desk all day recording client videos and it'd be a pretty boring day in the life, not gonna lie. So today is a day full of content, a day full of data, some client work, my client daily check-ins, video analysis, and some behind the scenes work that I'm going to run you through. However, today is a full day in the life to give you an insight as to what I get up to, and we have a jiu-jitsu session tonight. It is currently 6:30 and going to get ready for the day, head out and walk, do a little bits and bobs around the house, get a walk and start work pretty soon. It is currently 7:36, just out on our wee morning walk, getting some steps in, getting some light before a bed day in the office. I have tried training in the morning, and you know what, I like it. I like being up at just after 5 in the gym, smashing it, and you feel like the rest of the day is complete. I just don't have energy to properly train and push it how I want to, and it's one of these things where, am I prepared to sacrifice my training performance to train early? Or would I rather sort of just go in line with what my body tells me, train in the evening? That is what I'm leaning to at the moment. And well, today is jiu-jitsu anyway. Today's our jiu-jitsu session, which is at 7 o'clock in the evening. So I'm not going to be in the gym early anyway, as that's my main training session. But it's one of these things. Do what suits you. Just back from an early morning walk, literally 10 minutes or so. Now sat down in the office. It is 7:45 or so. And today is going to be a pretty jam-packed day, 7:45 until about 6:30, which is pretty standard for myself, I'll be honest. The reason I'm doing this video is I've had some questions recently of like, what do you actually do all day? I am a full-time online coach. I do not do any one-to-one in-person PT sessions. And people sometimes think like, how can you work all day doing that? Trust me, there is so much that actually goes behind online coaching. Today we have 2 YouTube videos to film. I have 14 videos to film, which can take a while. One video can take 20-30 minutes sometimes, times 14. But they all don't take that, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they do. I have 2 calls with people who want to join my one-to-one online coaching, Transform 180. We have just general interaction on Instagram, which always just takes a while. Got my daily client check-ins, which I do every single day. It's one of these where I do my formal check-ins with my clients, my video check-ins, and we do our proper protest pictures or weigh-ins on a Friday, do my video review. But I like to interact and give feedback every single day on training, nutrition, general chatting, asking questions. I always do that from 12 o'clock onwards in the day. One of these things where this early point of the day, I try and use the brain power that I have to develop the business, which I'm going to come on to in a second. I've got a lot of data to review today, which will be a boring one. I don't enjoy doing that, but it's necessary when you run a business. I've got jiu-jitsu tonight. I've got my own training session, which I'm going to be recording as well. And then have a module that I want to watch from a course that I'm part of, and a little bit of behind the scenes stuff for my exercise video library with my clients, inputting some new videos, and just generally tidying up a few bits and bobs in the training part of the business. So yeah, pretty jam-packed day. I will be checking in as the day progresses, and I'm going to start now, but I am going to have breakfast somewhat soon, so I will let you know what I have. One thing that I've just learned from running a business is it's separating tasks that you actually enjoy versus tasks that have to be done for the further development of the business. And it's honestly as simple as that. It's like, these things need to be done. Do you enjoy doing them? No. They still need to be done, so get them done. When you're your own boss, it's really easy to put those tasks behind. Sometimes it happens, but I still get them done, even though I don't enjoy it. But it's just one of these things where when you have to tell yourself to get it done, but you can also tell yourself to not do it. It's one of these weird things. But data is one of these, it's just fucking boring. For today's breakfast, we have this. We have Greek yogurt, protein powder, creatine. I put creatine inside my yogurt. I fucking hate drinking it. Brazil nuts, dark chocolate, almond butter, frozen raspberries, little drizzle of honey. Bosh. Morning block of work sort of wrapped up there. Some behind the scenes system stuff with training programs, with videos input for the entire library. I updated them the other day, some data, and just replying to a million messages. It is currently 10:56 and we're now about to film content in the gym here. As you can see, this will be me for at least the next few hours, so this will be interesting. You're literally seeing the behind the scenes before I film and edit these videos, and they look all polished and fancy on Instagram. But trust me, it is just me in the garage with the mirror and a tripod. Those plans did not happen. As you will see, it is pretty much 2 o'clock, and what I decided to do is I was just in the flow of content, and sometimes it's hard to get into that zone in your head when you're just battering out content, idea after idea after idea, and you're getting it over properly. So I just decided to do double the amount and do 2 weeks worth of content rather than one. And now this is where I can just sort of brain dump, and it doesn't have to be short form, and I have to be absolutely switched on. Here is a lot more chilled. But yeah, that has essentially been a 3-hour filming session. Yeah, and now I'm going to have lunch, and then I'm going to batter on my client work. But wow, that was intensive. My brain is now a bit destroyed. As you can see, I'm eating a massive portion. That is about 1,300 calories for lunch alone, which is pretty savage, but you will see a series coming out very soon. I am actually bulking at the moment, and I'm trying to get stronger, put on weight, so you have to eat food like this. I'm also using this as a bit of a pre-training meal as well, because I'm going to be hitting an afternoon condition session, so I've got some really high GI carbs in there as well. As a result, I'm going to have plenty of energy once it's digested. But this is meal prepped as well, as you can see. I did not just cook this. I literally work from home as an online coach, and I still meal prep. I don't have to. I could stand and cook during the afternoon and have a fresh meal, which I would prefer. But guess what? It saves time as a result, because I spend more time in my business, spend more time training, and it allows me to stay extremely consistent. Same lunch every single day. I know what the calories are going to be. Less fucking about, more results. Anyway, let's eat, and I'll catch you during my client check-ins later on. So this is today's spot for check-ins, messages, little daily adaptations, sending voice notes, listening to voice notes. Cannot complain with this at all. It does not look like this every day. Let me just make that very clear. But when the sun is out, trust me, I will take full advantage, sit in the sun and get my work done. Potentially a little bit more productive inside, but you've got to use the fruits of the job and sit in the sun when you can. We are now straight into video analysis. So this is where I break down my client's technique from the videos that they send me in and send them over full feedback of all the lifts. This is really important, especially with online coaching. It is something where this is one of the benefits of in-person PT. I will be honest, that you can break down somebody's technique and you can improve it there and then. With online coaching, it is obviously a slightly longer sort of feedback loop, because you have to then send them the video, get it reviewed, send it back, implement it for the next session. However, online coaching still trumps PT any fucking day, but that is one part of it. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a little bit of the video analysis behind the scenes and breaking it down with a client here. I'm also just going to note that this is one of my non-check-in days. If I was to show you a day where I'm doing check-ins and I'm sitting at this fucking desk all day, it would be the most boring day in a life you have ever seen. So yeah, that is why I'm doing it on a day like this, where it's not just a check-in day of 25 video check-ins and it would just be me sitting there chatting, because I don't do any other work on those days. Like, all my content's done, there's no data on those days. It's all just driven by like client work, you know what I mean? Allow yourself a tiny little bit more range. So what I think's happening here, Nathan, right, is you're trying to go really low in the lift. You're trying to stay completely horizontal towards the floor, and as a result, for you to get completely horizontal towards the floor, you have to bend your knees. There's no chance that you can do that with your hamstrings, because it's just too much mobility, right? It has to give from somewhere. So instead of being like hinged here, you're dropping your knees, and then when you pull, because you've bent your knees now, you're now hitting your knees because you had to bend them to stay horizontal. It's been a pretty busy day so far. it's somehow 25-6. I don't know how. Yeah, busy day. So much content. So double the amount, insane amount of fucking data. My head hurts. And then loads of client work, client messages, a few bits and bobs, tweaking stuff, a couple of calls, which obviously didn't record, and then the video analysis, which took well about an hour and a half for the video analysis as well. So yeah, going to hit a quick conditioning session now. Another call. Had another call that got booked in. But yeah, impromptu call. Another call. Then we're heading to jiu-jitsu for tonight's main session. I will get some footage there. Probably not of myself because I will just get absolutely burst. But yeah, I'll keep you updated. Session was fucking short, sharp, brutal. Literally 15 minutes in, out, and then finished with a few sprints on the bike, which I didn't record. But yeah, that is what my condition looks like at the moment. It is not like long efforts on the bike and running. It's short and sharp stuff. Get the heart rate spiked, and yeah, very time efficient. Do enjoy it. Back in for one more call now. I will. You know what? I'm going to catch you after jiu-jitsu. And that is jiu-jitsu done. I didn't get any footage, I'm not gonna lie. It was far too busy. And I didn't want to be that guy, especially because of my fucking white belt. So yeah, that didn't happen. However, busy day. Interesting to see, as I said earlier, like when we do behind the scenes thing like this, it's interesting because this isn't a client check-in day. And that's so much more boring. You're just like at the desk, and it's why I chose to do on a day like today when there's content and there's different sort of bits going on, you know what I mean? There's a bit more movement to it. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video.